How many of these crochet Moo Dengs do you think I can get from one of those giant balls of yarn? Hey, it's Tammy, Crafty Mompreneur. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. 10 days ago, I set off on a journey to crochet as many of these cute little Moo Dengs as I could from 431 yards of Bernat Blanket yarn. So let's get to the video. My teenage daughter told me I needed to make Moo Deng, so I found the cutest tutorial here on YouTube and I made her. Isn't she the cutest? And then they told me that I should probably make some for the markets that I have coming up. I said, okay, but I'm gonna take it one step further. I'm gonna actually see how many Moo Dengs I can get out of this Bernat Blanket yarn. I haven't really seen many people crochet Moo Deng out of blanket yarn, so I'm hoping that it looks cute, because if it doesn't, then this video idea is a total fail. So this is the jumbo yarn. Looks bigger than my head. It is 600 grams. So obviously this color is gonna run out before the pink, but that's okay. There's a story here. I had originally bought this pink yarn. I don't remember what I was gonna use it for. I might be guilty of buying yarn and not really having a project in mind for it. Maybe. And I went to Joann's because I had made this first Moo Deng, and I have to tell you, the yarn I used for this, it was shedding a lot. It was this Michael's yarn, and so it made it kind of hard to work with. I want to try one in the Bernat Blanket yarn because Bernat doesn't really shed as bad, and so she'll be a little bit bigger. But I feel like I'll be able to do the face shaping a little bit better. So the challenge is to see how many Moo Dengs I can get out of this yarn. I'm gonna take you on this journey. As we get started in this video, I want you to guess how many Moo Dengs you think I can get out of this yarn. The Moo Deng challenge. Last night I started the challenge of seeing how many Moo Dengs I could crochet from this giant ball of yarn. And last night I finished my first one. So this one is Moo Deng number 1. This one is not going to be in my final picture because I am gifting it to one of my friend's daughters. So this will be the last time you see this Moo Deng. So it's been a few days since I started the challenge of how many Moo Dengs can I get out of this giant ball of yarn. I had a market, I had all these other things happen. So I am continuing on with that challenge this week to see if I can use up all this yarn. I'm on my second one right now, and I'm gonna see how many that I can make today, and we will see. Okay, so my daughter's come home from school, and here's how far I am. This one doesn't have any legs yet. I think I might make a couple bodies and then do legs all at once. I think that might make it go faster. I'm not sure, but I do like how this little guy turned out. So this one needs legs. Here's where my yarn is. Still have a lot. So with this, how many more I get? So right now I am 2 Moo Dengs in. I have 2 bodies done. And then I was crocheting last night, and I broke my crochet hook. I was trying to adjust stuffing, so I had to go today and get a new one. I had started one with a different hook, so now this is 3, and it's definitely not the same. So I got my new clover hook. I was using one of these old ones, but I definitely like clover better. clover hooks are the way to go. And I just ordered this one on Joann.com. I had a coupon, so I got it for like 60% off. So if you shop at Joann's, make sure that you use your coupons. And I placed the order online, and so I was able to use the coupon there. So yeah, rip to my old one. On to number 3. And then I think I'm gonna do legs and see where I'm at with the yarn. It's now Wednesday morning, and here's where we're at. This is what I have left of the ball of yarn, and I'm gonna be pushing it to get this done by Friday. So I've got another one almost done, and I still have to make all the legs for the ones I've made so far. And I still have to run across town to get some fabric for my daughter's Halloween costume, which will be in another video, but it's getting to be crunch time here. So let's get some more crocheting done. Okay, so quick yarn update. This is the yarn I have left, and I don't think it's enough to make a full-size one. So what I'm gonna do is finish up what I have, which are those 2, and get the legs and ears and tail on, then see how much I have left, and possibly make some little mini guys that I don't know if I'm gonna be able to add the pink, and they won't have the open mouth, but they'll be little mini hippos. So that way I'll use up all this yarn. So stay tuned. Okay, I'm down to the last 8 legs and 2 Moo Dengs. So this is the pile of yarn that I have left after making as many of this size of Moo Dengs as I can out of it. I'm gonna see how many of the mini hippos I can get out of this. I'm not even sure. So let's give it a go. Well, I finished. And so if you haven't guessed already, make sure you drop in the comments how many of these Moo Dengs you think that I crocheted with a giant ball of 600 grams of Bernat Blanket yarn. Now this isn't the small Bernat Blanket yarns, this is like the giant ones. It's these big balls of yarn. So drop those in the comments now. It's your last chance because I'm revealing the answer in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's recap. You saw all the footage about process of crocheting these. I had no rhyme or reason as to why I wanted to do this, but I did take note from my teenager, and they said that Moo Deng was like the next hot thing. I'll issue myself a challenge and see how many I can crochet out of a giant ball of yarn. I made my first one as kind of my test, and I showed you that one early on in the video, and that was my first one. So that one was 1, and then we had 2, 3, 4, and 5. Got a total of 5 Moo Dengs out of that giant ball of yarn. This much yarn left after I finished the 5. And I thought, okay, let's see how many little hippos. Because I knew I didn't have enough yarn to make another big Moo Deng, but I had a pattern for a small little hippo, and I thought maybe I could get 2 of those out of that. But I only got 1. So this is the little hippo from Pogsy. I'll link this pattern in the description box below. I started a second hippo, but there was no way. That was it. This is all the yarn I have left from that giant ball of yarn. Luckily, I don't have any extra to add to my stash. I do have quite the yarn stash, and I am planning a video to go through and organize all of my yarn. But that one's gonna be a while because I have to plan that one out. I gotta film all the footage of me actually organizing, so That one's gonna be something. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how much I am going to be charging for one of these. We're gonna calculate the cost together because I kind of now have an idea of how much yarn one of these took, as well as the time. I did time myself making the legs, and I know they took me 15 minutes per guy. It takes me about 10 minutes to sew them on, so that's 25 minutes. Shaping takes about 10, 15, stuffing maybe 5 to 10. And then sewing the body, since it's not super detailed, it's kind of just a straight, all one piece with a little bit of stuff here. We're gonna call this, for the sake of math, it's probably just under 2 hours, but we're gonna go with a 2-hour time frame. Yarn, if I paid full price for it, was $23.99. P.S. I didn't pay full price for it, but let's say I did. It's $24 before tax. I got 5 Moo Dengs out of it. So 5 Moo Dengs divided by 24. Let's say tax is in there. Approximately $5 in yarn, because I didn't calculate for this pink. We're looking at about a little less than $5 in yarn for each one of these guys. Then the stuffing, I buy a giant thing of stuffing, so let's call it like 50 cents. Let's add another $1 for eyes and stuffing. So there's $6 in materials. The time it took me was about 2 hours. So if I want to get paid at least minimum wage, which is like 15 something, so I need to charge at least $36. So I would need to charge at least $36 if I want to get paid minimum wage. That's essentially how you can figure out your pricing. I generally just kind of keep track of how long something will take me. This guy I was going to price between 35 and 40. Again, I don't have to do this to earn an income. I do this because it's fun for me. I love crocheting little stuffed animals. I just like making people happy when I crochet something and they love it. That's just a little bit about, you know, how you can price your items. So this video took about 10 days from start to finish, from when I started the challenge to when I'm now filming the conclusion, the wrap up, I finished my challenge of getting rid of a giant ball of yarn. Let's just say that it was a lot. It was a big commitment. And I found myself at the end like scrambling a little bit, because I'm like, ooh, this is Friday's video. I gotta get these little Moo Dengs done. And so there was a little bit of that. So would I do this challenge again? I would do something like this again. I would probably push back my date so I'm not so rushed to get them done, because again, I'm still a relatively new YouTuber. So I don't really know how long things take. You really just don't know what goes into them until you actually do it. And there was a lot of like, oh crap moments where I was like, to like set up the camera and like do a few shots of me crocheting. Like, I forgot about that part, you know? And so there was one day I was crocheting on the couch and just crocheting away, and I was like, I didn't film any of that. Whoops. So it's a learning curve. Being a YouTuber is a total learning curve. But I'm getting there. You know, it's a process, and I'm learning as I go. And so it's fine, right? But anyways, it was a fun challenge, and I'm excited to take a few of these to my next market and see how they do. I will have 1 or 2 in my plushie drop when I open my shop on my website. That's gonna do it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, because on Sunday, it's Granny Square Sunday. That's my weekly series where I am crocheting all 50 squares in this Granny Square card box. You can catch that playlist right here and join me for a new episode every Sunday. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and we will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.